going on, YouTube peeps and bariatric freaks? You're watching Back to Basics, and I am James R. White Guy, your Monday vlogger. So, this is August, the beginning of August, which means back to school for folks. So, the theme this week, and actually this month, is gonna kind of evolve around school. So, just kind of give you a heads up, that's what you can expect. The questions this week actually are, there's several of them. I'm just going to pick a couple of them and talk about those. One is, when you were a kid, or when you were in school, were you overweight? If so, how were you treated by other kids? And another one is, how do you think your weight or body image at the time affected the development of your personality and character as an adult? So, was I overweight in school? Yes. In fact, I've always been one of the biggest kids, going back to elementary, junior high, high school. I can remember at the time, and maybe some still do it now, I'm not sure, but jeans at the time had the little, on the back of the jeans, like right above the butt, somewhere in the back, by the belt loop, there was a little square leather part that listed the size of the waist and the length. And I remember I was so embarrassed because the size of the waist was always bigger than other kids. So I used to get something, whatever I could find, a knife, whatever, and try to like scratch off the size of the waist, because I was so embarrassed that other kids would see it and make fun of me, which they did, and that's what led me to wanna scratch that off, right? I mean, I got tired of people picking on me because I was so much bigger than the other kids that I would try to scratch that off, so people couldn't see it. So I was definitely, overweight as a child, and people would pick on me all the time. I'm sure many of you can relate. Aside from, I think I heard it all. All the just all the comments that kids make to one another. Kids can be cruel, as you know. All the name calling. I dealt with it all, and it always seemed, and even I can remember through high school, when I was having a disagreement with somebody or argument with somebody or whatever, the first thing, the one and only thing really that they go straight forward to attacking was the weight. It's just something that I've had to deal with my entire life. I think being overweight, from my entire life, definitely has kind of affected my personality and my character, and as an adult, I kind of got to this point where I was okay with certain things that resulted from me being overweight. And what I mean is, whenever people saw me, it was never James. Hey James, or hi James. It was always Big James, or it was always something that had to do with my size. That kind of determined my identity. I mean, no one ever would say Big James or just call me James. It was always Big James, Big Dog, something to that effect. And it got to a point where I just kind of ran with it. It just became normal. It wasn't an issue for me. It wasn't an issue for someone to say, "What's up, Big James?" Even as an adult at work, prior to having weight loss surgery, okay, co-workers, when they'd see me walking down the hall or see me somewhere, there was one in particular who always would say, "Big James." I mean, so it's just something that has happened, like, since junior high, high school, and I've kind of become okay with it until I didn't have an issue with it because it was just so common. But until I saw the movie The Blind Side, and some of you may have seen it, there's a scene in there where Mike, the main character, who throughout the entire movie is called Big Mike, he's talking and he makes a comment, something to the effect of, he just wants to be called Mike. He doesn't want to be called Big Mike. That's not who he is. He's Michael. And when I saw that, I kind of felt like, you know what, he's right. I'm not Big James. I'm big, but that's not who I am. I'm James. I'm Mexican. How come they don't say, what's going on, Mexican James? I mean, you know, so my weight shouldn't be something that is part of my personality or part of what defines me. And from that moment, from seeing that, you know, something inside of me just kind of said, you know, that if from this point on, if when someone says, Big James, what's going on, Big James, I'm going to correct them, and I've kind of done that. But it's definitely, you know, there was a point there. How do you put up a fight, really? I mean, so there was a point there where I just said, to hell with it. I'm Big James. That's just kind of who I am. So it definitely, I think, affected my character and my personality to effect, because I kind of played that up. There was a point in my life where I kind of played into that and fed into that. But I definitely have always been one of the bigger kids in school. In fact, I remember even back to the elementary days, from elementary, junior high, and high school, there was always, my weight had always had an effect on what I was able to do. I remember in elementary, during PE, there used to be these little, I don't even know what they're called, but like, you sit on it at the steering wheel and you just kind of turn the steering wheel and it would kind of go on its own. And I remember in PE, like, not wanting to do that because I was so afraid that it wouldn't move like it would for the other kids. I mean, so there were certain things throughout all those years, from elementary to high school, and even in my adult life, that I wasn't able to participate in. In high school, when everybody else was going tubing on the weekends, I wasn't tubing with them because of my weight. So it's always played a part, you know, in my life since, gosh, elementary, which sucks. You know, it definitely has led to kind of the life that I had prior to weight loss surgery, right? You just tend to accept it. So that's my take. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful week. I look forward to the other vloggers this week, and I hope you guys that have young ones that are getting ready for back to school, I hope your little ones have a wonderful year this year, and we will talk soon. Yes.